Alrighty, welcome to the stream, everybody. The Network Berg here. Hope you've been doing well. Sorry I missed last week's stream. As I said, my fiance actually got a bit sick, and I'm sure if you've got a keen ear, you can also hear that my voice is a bit hoarse at the moment. So I'm also actually a bit sick, but I don't feel that bad, and it's not the dreaded virus that everybody's scared of. It's just a cold, a flu, so it should pass within a few days and everything should be back to normal by then. But sorry if my voice is a bit more, I don't know, deeper than normal. But welcome to the stream. And I was actually shown a pretty cool automation tool by a friend. And this automation tool is called Unimus. And I was very intrigued in what Unimus does. I went onto the website, had a look what this thing is, and as you guys know, on a few, like the last few streams, I've been trying to set up stuff with network automation, specifically on tools like Ansible. But I was trying to do Ansible like where we configure everything from scratch as if we're coding. Unimus, on the other hand, is a very simple and straightforward network automation tool that you can use. You can use it to do backups, you can do it to push commands, you can use it for change management. It's a really nice tool, but there is a downside. It's not a completely free tool. So your first, I think, 5 devices that you add onto it, it's completely free. So if you run a small network, maybe you just have a few provider routers that you want to set up automation for, then it'll be perfect for you. Otherwise, I think there are some costs involved. There's different payment plans, like you can buy stuff per device, or you can get like a big commercial license. But I just want to go onto their website and show you like what they're all about. Again, they don't endorse this. This isn't me trying to sell you anything. It's just a cool tool that I found. So unimus.net is the site. Here they say everything we can do. So vendor agnostic, multi-platform, fast to deploy. All of this stuff is actually really true, because I've got Unimus running on my PC that I'm streaming from now, and I'll do some labbing on it with you guys so that you can actually see what's happening. I just want to click on this get started with Unimus, so that this is like the steps that you can follow to install it. I will make a different video that's not a stream, that's just going to be like how to do Unimus. Even though there are other videos, I feel like I can drill down specifically for MikroTik and how crazy cool this tool is. First thing that I want to do is just get onto the Unimus page on my computer so I can show you what's going on there. I just quickly need to grab this here. So it is localhost, because it is actually running on my machine on port 8085. Now, initially when I installed Unimus, it's actually pretty funny. I also had PRTG running, and PRTG uses the same port as Unimus, so I had to uninstall PRTG. But you can get around that by just changing the admin port on either PRTG or Unimus, whichever one that you're able to connect to. Apologies. Just give me a sec, I need to do another cough quickly. There we go. Maybe I need to get a glass of water as well, just so I don't get all cotton mouth here. All right, now we can specify a name. Well, this is a username that I picked earlier myself. You don't need to use the Network Berg, obviously. And then a password. So the initial setup, you're gonna get here. Just hang on, I actually need to get some water. I'll be right back. All right, back. Sorry, just had to get this good glass of water so my throat doesn't get dry and I don't like cough madly. All right, let's continue with our little Unimus server that I've got here. So currently I'm not using any of the licenses. Like I said, I do have 5 trial licenses, which you can essentially say is 5 routers that we can manage without paying anything, which is awesome. This is obviously the user interface for it, and just off a glance you can see all of the cool stuff you can do. There's a place that you can add devices. Device tags is pretty nice because this you can use to basically tag devices or group them, if you will. And then if you want to push configuration or do backups to a specific group of devices, you can use device tags for that feature. Zones I haven't played around with, maybe we'll check in the stream, but I don't feel like I really want to fiddle around with the zones. And then we've got the config section. So this is where the bulk of the stuff is that you're actually going to be doing on Unimus. You get your backups. Pretty darn straightforward. If we have a device here, we can actually click on it and do a backup now. And you can also schedule backups, which is really nice because maybe you want to have Unimus pull weekly backups of your devices or daily if you are so inclined, just to make sure that there are backups in case ever needed because a router went down and you need to now replace the configuration. And Unimus is nice because you can also push configuration down. All right, config search, I haven't done anything here, but we will fiddle around with this as well. And then our mass config push. So this is pretty good. Sorry, another cough. So this is where you'll essentially be able to create, we can call it presets. As you see, it opens up a new tab here, and then we can basically give a command to this preset, which is just going to kind of be a list of commands that Unimus can run to a device that it can connect to. So I might call this do firmware upgrades. Let's just save that for now. Oh, okay. Let's do this. System package upgrade install. So now I've got a preset there. If I click on that, you can see there's the actual command it's going to run. And here with the targets, we can select which devices we want to push configs to. Because like I mentioned earlier, we get tags. So we can push to tags or we can push to specific devices that we want to. And it's all here. Really cool stuff. Let's quickly see if we can add a device from, I'm going to use EVE-NG to Unimus and see how well it works. So I've already obviously tested this with 1 or 2 routers and it works just fine. But let's use this MikroTik CHR version 6.48. I'll just use the normal router image, call it R1, give it 12 Ethernet ports, and that's all I'm going to do here. I'm going to save this, and then I'm just going to connect this to my management network. And I'm going to start up this router, and let's see what it does. All right, this router should be up, admin blank. So I just need to connect again because I'm using the HTML5 console here. And typically, MikroTiks don't like the HTML5 console that much on first setup. Like you see, I get these weird characters and stuff. Let's just stop that. I might actually just quickly log out of Eve and log back in, but I'll just use the PuTTY console, native console. Let's start that router up again. Let's connect with PuTTY. Router might actually still just be starting up. There we go, admin blank. So here we can see this is a stock standard blank CHR router that I've brought up. but I do have DHCP to the device on my Eve management network, and I should be able to get to this IP from my Unimus server, which is on the same machine where Eve is hosted. So I'm just going to go to my devices. I'll add a device, give it a IP there. If your Unimus has a DNS server specified and you've given these IPs like host names, you can specify a host name to connect to as well. Pretty nice. It'll be in the default zone. Backup schedule. So this is just when do you want it to back up. So here you can set, must it back up every, like default, it's just a default schedule. Every day at 3 AM. Seems pretty good to me. But I created a schedule earlier for at 20 minutes past the hour, so let's select that, and later on in the stream let's just see if it actually did that backup. Credentials, you can set it to discover or bind it to a specific username or password. But I'll just leave it on discover. But the nice thing is with Unimus is if you put it on discover, the usernames and passwords that you set, it can like test them until it gets the right one, which is scary actually as well, because that's kind of like what a hacker would do to try and get into your network, isn't it? But unlike a hacker, you've already put in the right username and password. Unimus just needs to discover which set of credentials works. But if you know 100% like what the username and password is, you can just come here, select the right username and password. We can do a little show password there, just to make sure that is the right account, and then I can bind it to that. So whenever it connects to that device, 192.168.74.131, it will use admin and the password is 1234. Let me just quickly get onto the stream. Sure, Marshall. In another stream, I think we can definitely do that. Remote Winbox. Enable password. So Unimus is multi-vendor. It's not just MikroTik. So if you've got Cisco's or Juniper's or Huawei's or HP devices or anything else, you can. But the enable password is really just relevant to a Cisco device, but it's multi-vendor. You can use this on any network device really, which is pretty nice. There's a config password as well, and let's just confirm this. So I'm just going to hit yes, and now we've got a device there. It's running a discovery as well, so that it can tell us what vendor the device is, also what type it is. I can just refresh this to see. Or let's just click it and say discover now, so we know it's gonna like do the job now. Cool. Now it's come back with, it knows it's a MikroTik and it knows it uses router OS and it is a CHR. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty spiffy. What I might do is I'm going to tag a device, and I'm going to tag that device we just added to this customer one MikroTiks, so that I can show you how the tags work a bit later on as well. I'm not going to do anything with the zones, so let's just do a quick thing. Now if I go to the backups, you'll see the device that we added is there, and if I click on backup now, it will actually try and connect to that MikroTik, but it's going to fail. Well, I'm actually surprised that it didn't fail. It probably figured out admin blank as well, but that's not credentials that I specified anywhere. Let's just view the backup. All right, so this is just like what a CHR looks like with blank config. Let's log into the CHR again. I think I've got it open here. So what I would like to do is potentially, let's just set the admin username and password. So system user, I think it's just user admin, user set password 1234 for number 0, user print, because that should be our admin user. All right, cool. So now it should use the password 1234 to connect as well. And let's make a quick config change. I'm just going to edit this host name from MikroTik to something else. So let's do a system identity set name. Let's make this R1. Hit enter. Now we see R1 is there. If I jump back onto Unimus, if I do a backup now, it's going to run a backup again. And there we see there's the new backup that we just took. And it's nice because it is time-stamped, so we can see exactly what's going on. If I click on the view, I can actually see there is extra config. But here's the nice part of Unimus. It allows you to see the differences in configuration. So this is the same device. And if I do, so this is change management. This is so awesome. If I click on this diff button, it will find the differences and it will highlight them to say the green is obviously added configuration. And if it was red with a minus sign, that would be configuration that's missing. But it can tell you between these two config files, the one config file has additionally this configuration. So that's really cool. That's really useful for us if we want to check what changed since we rolled the configuration out that might have broken something. We can also download our configs, obviously, in text format, which you can manually put into an RSC file if you want, and then you can upload it that way to a MikroTik. So that's also pretty cool, because that would allow you, if the MikroTik's remote and you can't access it anymore, to just like get somebody there with a thumb drive or directly connect onto the MikroTik with Winbox via Mac and fix the configuration issues. So that's so cool. I want to check out this mass config push now, because we have this do firmware upgrade. And here we've got a system package upgrade install. So what I'm going to do is just select this device. I could add the tag as well, but let's just add the device for now. And you'll see the device is added there. And I can close this window. So one device is selected, and if I do the run now, it will push, like do this command to that MikroTik. I just want to check what's in the advanced settings. Okay, this is just like extra things that we can specify. Override credentials, what the enable password might be, what username password might be. But we've already set some details here. Before I run this, I just want to check schedules. Again, this is where you can set schedules to do certain stuff, because maybe you want to do a schedule for a mass config like push to upgrade the firmware every week or month or something. This is what you can achieve through here. And also the backups, like when the devices should be backed up. Credentials, so this is the other important bit that I haven't shown you guys, because here we can specify the usernames and passwords that Unimus can try and use to log in to a device, to try and manage it and configure it. And it's so easy. You can just hit add. If you know what the username is that you would connect to a router with Winbox, like admin or administrator or whatever, you can specify how it's going to connect with password or SSH key. It's typically going to be password with MikroTik, but you do get SSH keys as well. So if you want to use SSH key, it's fine. And then you can specify whatever the password is. So TMB at 1234567. And then if I hit OK, it'll create a new account. So if another router used these login details, I could assign that to the device when I import it, so that, or I could bind this username and password to it so that it can authenticate with these credentials to manage the device. All right, let's do the firmware upgrade, because that's going to be fun. I'm just going to bring up this MikroTik in the foreground. Then I want to run this. I'm just going to bring this back up. So it's busy just running the command. Config push do firmware upgrade has finished. Let me just make sure I've used the right command. So package update install. So that's what I actually wanted. So look, it would have ran the command, because here the output groups let you actually see what happened. If you click on here, and here you see it got a prompt, it did the command, but then it got a bad command name upgrade. So it's because it's update, not upgrade. So let's just save that. Let's run the new command. Let's bring this back to the front. Okay, the device has gone down. It's busy rebooting. That's awesome. Let me just quickly bring up my live stream again. Nice. All right, so the MikroTik's back up. And now it was just version 6.48. Now it's version 6.48.3, which is sick, because I didn't config this at all from like Winbox. I haven't touched any commands here in the MikroTik to make this happen. And I want to make sure everybody understands how cool that is, because if I had more than one device, if I had 50 MikroTiks or 100 or 1,000, I could very easily upgrade them all at the same time just using this tool. Because let's say maybe you upgrade router firmwares every once a month or something, and it can take you a good while to get onto each MikroTik and manually do the upgrade and just see what happens, you know. With this, it's like a few seconds, and everything can get pushed. I'm not going to say if you push to 1,000 routers, it's going to take a few seconds. It might take a few minutes then, but it's going to be a hell of a lot quicker than going onto each router individually and trying to configure them. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do now is just add another router and put this on version 6.48.1. Also give it 12 Ethernet ports and make this R2. And I'll connect that onto the same cloud. Start up the router. Admin blank. No. Okay, so this is just a MikroTik again. I just want to see what IP address the DHCP gave it. 133. Cool. So let's add another device. Call this customer 2 MikroTik. I'll leave the backup schedule the same. Let me bind the credentials here. Just bind it as administrator. And the password was, I think, TMB at 1234567. Let's just discover this device. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's failing now because I don't have those credentials in the device. So let's just quickly add them. User add user name, administrator, password. What is it? TMB at 1234567. And group, I'm just going to put this in full. So I'm just going to make sure this password is the same as on Unimus. So administrator, Show password. TMB at 1234567. Okay, that's fine. Let's see if I can discover this device now. Let's just select it. And let me just make sure I can actually get to the device from here. All right, it did pick it up. So there we go, second router added. If I go to my dashboard, looks pretty scary because I've already used 2 out of the 5 licenses that I'm allocated. But again, if you're running like a small provider network, this tool is gold. Let me see, let's just create another tag. Call this what customer 2 MikroTiks. Let's tag a device for that. Tag this device. Cool. Now let's do a config push, again for the firmware upgrade, but I'm not going to use that as a target. I'm going to use a tag as a target. I just want to see how I can do that. Add target, add the tags. Let's add customer 2 MikroTiks. So now it's going to run that over a tag. All right, great. And I'm going to push the config to that MikroTik, hopefully. Although I'm pretty sure it will work. Let's see. I should see this rebooting. There we go. Very nice. And the UI is pretty sleek for this. It looks really good. And we've got a light theme as well. Although this light theme, not to, like, it's just a different color scheme. But for some reason, this reminds me of another network vendor. I'm not sure if you were familiar with Netgear. I've played around on a few of them. And this purple just kind of reminds me of Netgear for some reason. Let's keep it on dark because this does look really sleek and cool. And all right, we already know everything's working. So that Unimus, guys, it's all working. It's all good. All right, that MikroTik's just freaking out, but that's because of Eve, not Unimus. So just stop that router again, start it up again, and I'll add 3 more MikroTiks now. Add 12. Just keep it R. I've never used Datadog. Datadog. Let me just Google that. That looks cool as well. I might even have a look at this as well. This looks pretty cool. Datadog. So it does a lot of monitoring. Who knows? Maybe it's comparative to PRTG as well. Let me just close that. All right, let's just figure out how we're going to add our 3 new routers. Actually, I think I want to do something cooler. These aren't going to be customer routers now. Stop them. I just need to figure out how I'm going to do this. because I'll quickly build like a small provider network just using this automation tool. So I'm going to try and not log into any router, just as a bit of a challenge. Oh, damn. I made these 2 ports instead of 12. That's going to be a bit of an issue. All right, those seem fine. All right, ETH1. Actually, I want to connect R1 on ETH1. Let's put ETH2 on R2. E3 R2 or 3 looks good. All right, so this will be a little service provider network. Let me just give it a nice little shape at the background. Let's make the inside color nice orange. Ooh, that border is, the width is really big. Make that like a 2. That's better. Before I continue, let me just switch Eve to dark mode as well, because that should make the colors look a bit better. All right, let's just start all of these devices. And then I quickly want to have a look here. I'm just going to jump onto, because router 1 and 2, they're going to be easy. I need to figure out how we're going to get to the other routers quickly. So let's just add another, let's add some text. And where is that text? Oh, man. I'm actually going to switch this back to light mode. There we go. Just change this orange color a little bit because it's a bit bright for the eyes. Maybe make it like a soft blue. There we go, that looks better. All right, let's just quickly set up IPs between the routers. 10.0.0.0.30. Put that there. All right, that's fine. Just a bunch of /30s. Although I maybe just want to edit the 1. Let's make that like a white. Yeah, that's good. Delete that, duplicate that. Just going to duplicate these texts quickly, and then we'll just update the subnets. Because this is just between our provider network, and then outside, obviously, we're using the 192 subnet. Actually, I'm just going to make 1 for that. So this is 192.168.74.0/24. All right, that looks good. I'm going to do some more duplicates because I just want to, let me just change this text color to a dark red. Remove the box. Actually, let's maybe make that a different color than dark red. Purple. Yeah, that can work. So this is just me wanting to assign a loopback IP to each of these routers, because I prefer connecting to a loopback IP if we're using different services. So this could be, let's do that, 192.0.0.1. Did you guys know that 192.0.0.0/24 is also a private range? It's not a range I've typically used, but it's also like something that's fair game if you want to put it somewhere in a network. So this will be fairly straightforward. 192.0.0 whatever is going to be our router IDs and our loopback addresses. It's pretty straightforward which is which, like router 5 is .5, router 1 is .1. Alright, that looks good. Sorry, I just need to do another quick cough. Alright, next bit, let's just update these IPs between our provider routers. This should be easy, let's just do that. 10.0.1, 10.0.2, 10.0.3, 10.0.4, 10.0.5, 10.0.6. Alright, that looks good. Let's just duplicate that as well. There we go. So this can be .1, and then we're just going to duplicate it and make it .2. And sorry, this is kind of fun, but maybe not for somebody that's watching. It's just the design bit of the network. Let me make everything going to R5.1. That looks fine. And there's .2s. Duplicate that. All right, let me make the bottom routers .2s and the top ones .1. Okay, .1. .1. All right, that looks pretty good. Now we just quickly need to add these IPs. This I can't do with Unimus, unfortunately, because I'm going to need something to connect to, obviously, over layer 3. So, but it's going to be just some quick base config. Admin blank no IP address print. So this will be blank. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's see. Okay, it's fairly straightforward. So IP address, add address 10.0.1.1/30, because that's going to router 1. And the interface is ether1. There's the ether2. That's just going to be 10.0.2.1, ether3, 10.0.3.1, ether4, 10.0.4.1. Cool. And let's just add the bridge. Actually, you know what? I'll try and add this with Unimus as well. I just want this to work. I'm going to use router 1 as its default gateway. So let's just do an IP route add, destination address 0000, gateway equals 10.0.1.2, sorry. There we go. I'm just going to do the IP address assignment this way. What did I make this? Admin 1234? Yes. So IP address print, IP address add, address equals 10.0.1.2/30, interface ether 3. And then interface ether 2, we'll make this dot, I think dot 5.1 IP route print. Okay, that's fine. So router 1, 5 is done. Let's do router 2 quickly. Yeah, I hear you, Nicholas. I hear you, man. That's why I'm playing around with this and streaming it now. Like, I'm not a Unimus pro or anything. Like I said, a friend just managed it or mentioned it to me, and I had a look, and it looks decent. I mean, it's kind of achieving what I wanted to achieve with Ansible, but this is very user-friendly. The only downside is that it's going to start costing you the more devices you add on the network. IP address print, okay. IP address add address equals 10.02.2/30, interface, what's that, ether 3 as well. IP address add address 10.06.1/30, interface ether 2. All right, let's quickly do router 3 and 4, and then I just need to see if I can actually access these devices from my machine. So admin blank, no. IP address print. I'll have a look at Splinks. I also don't know what that is. Splinks, just a quick look. Billing and a management solution. You know, one thing that I don't want to say it annoys me, but I've seen people create tools, let's say similar to Splinks or Unimus or whatever, and then they try and even sell that off as if it is SD-WAN, and it's not. It's just a front-end management tool. Cool. See some South Africa stuff here. I'm aware of Skywire. Looks interesting. Maybe I'll have a look at this as well. But first thing I want to check is this Unimus. Right. I was busy with router 3. Okay, IP address add address equals 10.03.2/30. That should be on ether. Okay, that's on ether 2. IP address add address equals 10.05.2/30, interface ether 1. IP route add destination 000/0. Gateway is going to be 10.0.5.1. And let's do router 4 quickly. Router 4 is just going to use router 2 as its default gateway. Admin blank, no. IP address add address equals 10.04.2/30 interface ether2. IP address add address 10.062/30 interface ether1. IP route add address destination address equals 0000/0 gateway 10.0.6.1. I wonder, do these devices have breakout now or not? I just want to have a look at something. Okay, so this is failing because of a NAT. So let's just quickly enable that. I'm sorry that I'm mute like in between. I just don't really want to cough into the microphone, and I probably shouldn't be streaming if I'm a little bit sick, but I'm not that sick. So worst case is I've got a rugged voice. So IP firewall NAT, not NAD, NAT add chain equals source out interface equals, it should be ether1. And our action will be mask. Like I probably don't need to do this. This is just to get internet access. But I don't need internet access. What I need is to be able to get back into those routers. So I might have to add some static routes on my actual machine now. So command prompt, run as admin. Because from here, I'm going to need to be able to get to these 10 IPs so that Unimus can actually configure on those ranges. So let me use 10.0.1. Obviously, I won't be able to ping that. So I'm going to do is just want to confirm the IP on router 1 and router 2 quickly. I think router 1 is 131 and router 2 was 133. So let me just grab that. Go into my command prompt. Route add. That's -p. No, let's not -p it. Route add. Then our destination will be 10 0.1.0 mask 255.255.252, and my gateway will be 192.168.74.131. All right. I just want to see. I need to do 153. Let's do that. Five, 3. So I think 6 and 2 and potentially 4 I'll just bring in through router 2. So 2 4 and 6. Ping 10, 0, 1, 1. Okay, I can ping that. That's pretty good. Okay, I can ping .2. I can ping 2.2 with 3.2. Let's just see. All right. And this issue now is traffic gets to those routers, but now they need to also just get to router 5. So let's just quickly add some very basic static routes. IP route, add destination address 10.03.0/30. Gateway will be 10.0.1.1. Let's see if I can ping .3 now. Now I can ping it. I'm just gonna have to do the same for this .4 address, and this will just happen on router 2. And if we had OSPF set up like this, this wouldn't be an issue. But we're gonna set OSPF up through Unimus. So we'll do IP route add destination 10.0.40/30 gateway 10.0.2.1. Can I ping 4.2? Yes, I can. Even though that's asymmetric routing, because router 5's default route is out over router 1. So it's going like to get out, it does this, and to get in, it does this. Let's just see, can I ping the last two as well? 6, 5. All right. Full network access. So my machine can access all of these routers on their 10 IPs. And I've got the 5 devices. So technically I should just be adding these 3 extra routers. So let's add them. Oh, but wait, I want to remove these devices from these tags. Untag. Because we'll all be one big happy provider family. Cool. So there's our 2 CHRs. Let's add another one. 10.0. 2.1. Because actually let's do 1.1. Because that's router 5, and I just need to add the one IP really, even though it's got like a bunch of IPs. Let's do 1.1. Let's call this the route reflector, or it could be P1. Let's discover the credentials, hit the confirm. Let's try and discover, see what it does. It's still busy just running discovery. Let's add the other routers while we wait. So let's add 10.0.5. Actually, let's add the 3 IP. So 10.0.3.2. 10.0.3.2. Let's call this PE1. Confirm that. And then 10.0.4.2. PE2. So now we've got route reflector, 2 provider routers, and then our 2 initial MikroTiks we added. Let's just discover those devices as well. I did discover that last one. And sorry if I'm missing any messages. I'm just tabbed out because I just want to mute myself when I have a cough. All right, so PE1, it's finished its discovery. All right, all of them's been discovered. We know what they are, and all of the jobs ran successfully. Let's just run mass backup now. Or can I back them all up this way? No, I can't. What about I do that? No. What's in the configuration here? Not sure. We'll figure that out later when we've got more time. Let's just do some individual backups then. As you can see, when you click on a device, the information about the backups are restricted to that specific device. It's not like you'll see all of the devices, which is also nice because you know exactly this is the route reflector stuff and what's happening on there. Let's just do a backup on all of them. And do another backup on that one and that one. So there we can see I've taken configuration backups now on all of these routers that I added, which is super nice. I mean, there was the click of a button. I should be able to, well, it can be automated with a schedule. I just wish that I could like select them all and do it in bulk like that. Maybe you can, maybe I just need to figure it out. But our backups are there, pretty nice. All right, let's start doing some configs. I'll add some presets. Let's call this configure. Let's call them ASPR1 and ASPR2. It's going to annoy me if we don't have the names fixed. So this is ASPR1. And this will be ASPR2. Okay. Now let's go back to the mass config push, add a preset. Let's call this ASPR1 initial config. Configuring ASPR1. It's nice that you can expand this window. I'm just going to make that one, and I'm going to actually just go into this config file. And there's many ways that we can prep this configuration. I mean, we could have exported a working configuration from a different router and just brought it in here and tweaked it. But we'll set it all up from scratch. We'll think about commands that we want this device to run. So once Unimus logs into this device, what should it do? First thing I'd like it to do is do a system identity set name equals ASPR1. And then we can just hit the enter. I wonder if that'll work. Let's see what it does with extra commands. Let's do a interface bridge add name equals LO0 interface bridge port add interface equals no, we're not adding any ports. I'm being silly now. This is just a loopback address. So let's just assign an IP address to the bridge. IP address add address equals 192.0.0.1. And I just want to test this and see if it actually works. So let's add a target. And this is going to be ASPR1. Close this, close this. You can see it's got the one target there. Let's save that and let's run our command and see what happens. I think it's actually finished its command. Let's just get onto Eve. I want to see, do I have router 1 here? I do. Let me just hit enter. All right, let's change the name to ASPR1. Let's just see, is the bridge there? I probably missed some. I think you're right, Nicholas. Let me just check. Yes. So it probably didn't add the IP address list. I just want to see, did it add the bridge, interface bridge? It did add the bridge. Perfect. Anything happen with the IP addresses? No. And that should have failed. And the nice thing is, here we see interaction error. And we can see what the interaction device in this group, what is the output? Do I close that window somewhere? Because if you click here, it should actually show you the output of what the error was. But we already know it's that it didn't have the interface specified. So let's just specify the interface. Interface equals allo0. Save that, run it again. Let's see what it does. And now, but this is good because now it's telling us that it already has the bridge, so it can't add it, which is fine. I just want to see, has it actually added the interface or not? Okay, so in typical MikroTik fashion, I'd say, it's dropped all of the other commands afterwards. Like if you run a script, you'll see it's kind of the same type of issue. If the interface already exists when you run a script or import it, it just like spazzes out and doesn't do anything. But I think I misspelled interface as well, so that's probably it, to be honest. Let's just run again. I still don't have that IP. Let's just expand. IP address add. That looks fine. Let's take out that top config, save it, run it again. And now we've got the IP address. Okay, perfect. All right, so that's very basic config that we just did. Hang on. Apologies. Okay, so ASPR initial config, we've added the loopback address and we've changed the host name, which is such simple things to do, but it's nice to be able to do it from a central location. And now we don't need to like log on to each and every MikroTik to get this done. What I suppose we could add now is routing OSPF instance set name equals backbone. I wonder if I just hit enter. Let me not make the / let's just do routing OSPF instance set name backbone, routing OSPF network add. Let's add our networks for this router. I just want to check it's 1 and 5. So network equals 10.0.1 0/30 area equals backbone, routing OSPF network add network equals 10 0.5 0/30 area equals backbone, and then routing OSPF network add network equals 192.168.0. No, not 168. Apologies. 192.168.192.0.0.1, and our area for that equals backbone. Something doesn't feel right. Let's just expand the window. All right, all of this looks normal. Okay, this actually looks perfect. Just going to save that. Let's just run this command onto the MikroTik. See what it takes, and if it takes it without those /. Okay, let's see what it's moaning about. Let me just also go to the router, router 1, routing OSPF print, export. Routing OSPF instance. Okay, this all looks fine to me. So let's re-add those forward slashes. All right, let's save that, run it again. I'm just refreshing to see if we actually get the name updated. Let's check. Definitely didn't update the name. Routing OSPF networks print. Didn't add any networks either. Oh, I know why it's spazzing out. So when we want to change the name for the default OSPF, we just need to set that line item to 0 as well. All right, so let's save that again. Let's run it again. There we go. Now I've got networks. And if I do a, oh, that's pretty cool. If I up arrow, you can see it's actually got the commands as well that Unimus was using, that I specified, obviously. But if I do a routing OSPF instance print, we'll see that the name has been changed to backbone, which is nice. Okay, perfect. Let me just minimize here again. All right. So I should have kept that other config, but it's fine. Just give me a seckie. I just want to change to paused. So I just want to open up my Notepad++, but I just want to make sure I don't have you know, things accidentally open that people shouldn't be seeing. All right, let me just close all of these windows. No to all. All right, I am back. Hello, everybody. And what I'd like to do is just grab this config, put it in a notepad for now. So we know where it is. So we've got some OSPF config here. What else did we do? We did do the IP addressing. So there was an interface bridge add name equals LO0. We had a IP address add address equals 192.168, or not 168. Sorry, I'm so used to just going 168. And we did this identity as well. So system identity set name equals ASPR1. So those commands we've ran, we've done the OSPF. Do some, I wonder, do I want to do some MPLS now as well? Just very basic, nothing too major. Let's do, I might just have to tab to the router to make sure I've got the right commands. So MPLS, LDP set enabled, yes. Transport address 192.0.0.1, LSR ID 192.168.0.0.1. So this is going to be a command that we're going to run. I'm not running it now, which is silly because I could just run it now, but you'll see the logic to my madness in a little bit. Then we'll do MPLS LDP LDP interface add interface equals Let's just jump to Eve. So ether 3 and 2, ether 3 and 2. MPLS, let's just paste that. Although I do want to take out those forward slashes because I feel like the code will just look a bit cleaner. Unimus. So we've got MPLS here. Let's add ether 2 as well. So that's basic OSPF, basic MPLS. What else can we add? Let's just add this for now, that's fine. So for that router, save that, run it. Let's quickly see if it took those commands. MPLS print, MPLS LDP print, interface print. All right, it's added the interfaces, which is perfect. And there we can see our LSR ID, it's enabled, and the transport address. Okay, this is fantastic. So we've got a base config here. I'm just going to throw all of this config back in here and save that, but I'm not going to run it now. And then I'll show you like what's pretty cool now. If I go to my home, there's the ASPR 1 initial config. I can just clone this. Now I should be able to rename this. Call this ASPR 2 initial config. Save that, go into it, expand our window, and then just change the bits we want to change, you know. So we know we're going to change that. Oh, I know what I forgot, what I should have added. Let's do this. Routing OSPF instance set router dash ID equals 192.168. No, stop doing that. I just want to confirm the command as well. So routing OSPF instance set router dash ID. Okay, we're fine. Didn't make a mistake. So now we've got a unique router ID. We've got that. All right, this all looks fantastic. Although our networks are wrong, obviously. So let's just see on router 2, we've got .2 and .6. I'm going to do .2, .6. I'm going to advertise that. Update our LSR and our transport address, and I think it's also 3 and 2. Yes, it is. So I can just save that as it is. But now we're going to change our target, remove that old target, and let's add a new target. Add ASPR2, and I can close this window, and let's run this now. And let's see what happens on router 2. Which is getting a nice chunk of config. It's already updated the name. Let's just check our MPLS print. MPLS LDB print. Okay, that hasn't taken yet. Config has finished. My stuff isn't all here, so let's just see what was an error. I did the same mistake again, and Nicholas, you actually pointed it out earlier, so that was very silly from me or of me. We just need to set the interface here to LO0, save that. I might just have to kill that, save it, run again. And I also think I didn't specify the OSPF, but no, wait, I did. Is it specified in here? It is. Something else has failed. We can just do a quick export, see what has been added. So the IP address has been added. I don't see the OSPF networks here. And I don't see how that could be an issue. Oh, let me just make sure that I updated it in here. 2 and 6. Was the router ID routing OSPF instance export? Is there something else I failed to add? There we go. I didn't specify that line item here. Actually, I think I'm just going to remove that and do it in here. So we can also just, we can set the name and we can set router ID in the same line. So I'll just make 192.168.0.0.2. Right. And I might just have to delete that bit again. Save, run now. And let's see how far we get now. I don't see any error. Let's see on router 2. Let's just first export that. Okay, that looks good. MPLS is up as well. Okay. This is perfect. And what I can do is just do an export here. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if we can do it like this. Let's try it this way. Let's just open up a new doc there. I'm going to take out this wireless bit. That looks fine. Set name equals. Oh, wait, let's do this. All right, so let's quickly just configure either R5, which is the route reflector, or R3 or R4. So let's do the route reflector quickly. The name I'll just make RR underscore P1. It should also have an allo0. The name should be that, but its router ID will be 0.5. Now let's just look at our networks, because there's going to be 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm just going to add 2 more networks here. So I said 1, 2, 3, 4. And .5 we're going to set there. Set .5 there. I'm not going to add any route or NAT. I'm also not adding. I am adding an IP address though. So I'll add 0.5 and we just need to update the LSR and transport, and this looks good. Let's copy that. Let's see if it takes it this way. So I'll just go home add a new preset, call it configure RR, throw all the commands in there because we've already got all the code. Let's save this. And let's target our route reflector. So this was 10.0.1.1. And let's run our config. I'd have to check, Thomas. I haven't. It makes sense if it can do variables, because I know with Ansible you can specify variables, and then you can change the what's in the container. We'd have to go through the wiki, so we can do that together, but probably later. I just really want to see. There's that automatic backup that's scheduled every 20 minutes past the hour, so that's actually quite nice. But let's go back to the config push. I did see it gave me an error. I hate this. There was a DHCP client bit. Let's just add this other config that's supposed to still run. It looks like it took everything. Let's just see. So that was supposed to be R5. I just need to open it up quickly. So RRP1, that's right. Routing OSPF instance print. Let me just do an IP route print. Alright, so it is picking up the OSPF already. This is awesome. This is really good. Alright. Now let's quickly do a add preset, configure PE1. And we'll configure PE1 quickly. And we're just going to update through this notepad doc quickly. So allo 0, yes, that's fine. PE1 I think is 04. Address is 04. Transport 4. I just need to confirm the ports quickly. So Ether 1 and 2. That will be Ether 1 and 2 for the LDB. And our networks is 5 and 3. 5.3.4. Set name to P1. Throw this into Unimus. Save that. And let's select the target as P1. Let's run. Are you sure? There, I've got the interfaces. Ether 1 and 2. Oh, on the route reflect. Let me check as well, but I feel like I did add it. Let's just see. MPLS LDP interface print. All right, I did forget. Thank you. Those I might just quickly manually add while that command's running. So I've got 2 and 3, so 1 and 4. MPLS LDP interface add interface Ether 1 and 4. Did I run this command for PE1? Let's just connect to it and make sure. Alright, no, I did not. Let's just run it. Hey Jack. We're just getting output, so that's actually pretty decent. No errors. Right interfaces. Let's just hit enter. That's P1. Just see is it learning routes through OSPF. It is. Alright, now we're just going to do the last router. And I could potentially just clone this one, because we know this is a working one now. Rename, configure PE2. And let's just expand this config window. I already know this is going to become... Oof, I made a big mistake. Let me just get back to router 3 IP address print. Alright, all I'm going to do is switch this around. So I don't have to reconfigure a bunch of things on router 3 or PE1. Okay. So we're just changing this to 3, 3, 3. And I mean, this you could definitely do fairly quickly if you just use a tool like Notepad++ and just change addresses in that manner. 6 and 4. Should be dot 3. Ether 1 and 2. And PE2. And this looks good. All right, let's close that, save it, run it. Configuration to PE2 started. Command not supported by device. Oh, I've got the wrong PE here still. Let's just remove the target. And add the last target for PE2. And let's run now. Now it should go through. I'd have to Google it quickly, Jack. Like, I'll be honest, I typically don't do much with I don't want to say I don't do much with router boards, because I do, but if I have the option to put down a CCR at a customer site, I'd probably go that route. But you want to know, is it powerful? It's got a gig RAM, that's pretty good. Not too pricey. It's giving you like 10 gigabits throughput, but that's through the whole thing. Let's see what it looks pretty cool though. It kind of looks like a Lego as well, but it doesn't look bad. This is very modern. And these are all copper ports. I take it they all run at 1 gig. There's an SFP as well. Let me just check the... Alright, so 7 gigabit ports. 1 SFP plus port, that's good. Yeah, it looks like a good router. It looks like it's only got a single power supply. I mean, not that that's a train smash. Single power is fine. I see, Nicholas. Yeah, I mean, this looks like a good CPE to put down at a customer sites as well. It doesn't look like bad. If you want to use it for your Ethernet circuits, you're probably going to use a few of them, depending on what capacity you're selling to people. All right, let's just get back to Unimus quickly. This was a success. Let's just go on to router 4 and check. Okay, it's updated its name, and that was the last command it was supposed to run. Let's just do an IP route print. And the OSPF is working as well. Okay, that's pretty good. So I've pushed some pretty minor config, but we've set up OSPF and MPLS just using Unimus. And again, this is now being done from a central managed position. I don't need to log onto the routers directly to be managing them. I can, obviously, like you've seen. If we need to tweak something ourselves quickly, we can do it. But I think Unimus has made it pretty straightforward. Management, config pushing, backups. What more do you need? I wonder if there's anything else that I want to lab while I'm here. Because again, I'm not a Unimus expert or anything. I think this is the second time I've opened it since I've downloaded and installed it. But it looks pretty solid from what I wanted to do, which is mainly backups and like firmware upgrades. Like that, those are the big things for me anyways. All of this other stuff, this is a bonus. Like this is pretty good. And we like let's quickly just do this. Let's run a software or upgrade push to all of our devices. Just click there, add them all. And let's run. And then only the routers that are supporting software upgrades should work. But the nice thing is I can also change the IP address to the loopback IP on Unimus. I just need to route that down to the routers as well. I'll show you. I'm fairly sure the ones that are giving issues are the ones that are interaction error. I'm curious why this failed. System. This is plane 648. Ping 8888. Right, so that's potentially our issue, is because there's no internet breakout from these routers. Although I think I fixed it on one of them, but let's just do a ping from IP route print. It's got a default route out. Let me just add a NAT rule, IP firewall print, IP firewall NAT print, sorry. Hey, I know, let's push that with Unimus quickly. So this was the initial config. So I'm just gonna grab this ASPR initial config again, clone it. Let's rename it ASPR1 firewall configs. And now I can just remove all of that config there, because this will now only relate to firewall configs that I want to add onto this router. So let's do, I'm going to do this without the brackets or the forward slashes now. So IP firewall NAT add chain equals source out dash interface equals ether1 action equals masquerade. Save that, run it. Okay, it looks like it took it. Let me just see. Alright, it took that. Let me see, can I break out to the internet on router 5 now? Not yet. Because in theory, router 5 goes to router 1 for breakout, and then router 1 just pushes it out to the internet. And we know router 1 has internet. How about, does it have internet from 10.0.1.2? I don't know why I'm doing that. Ping 8888. I'm pretty sure 10. There's the address. That should be Ether 1. This looks good to me. Ooh. Let's use the good old Winbox so that people can just see what Winbox still looks like. Admin 1 2 3 4. Let's just zoom in a bit. Control equals IP firewall. Source NAT, out interface, actions mask. Looks fine. That's actually a valid point, but my issue is I'm still not able to ping out using that IP range. But that is a good point. It's not wrong. Disable that, enable that. Let me just make sure connection tracking is running, but it should be. Let's just delete it, add it again. I think I had something wrong there. I think I made it source -NAT or something. Out interface, Ether 1, action mask. Let's test now. Alright, now I've got breakout there. So on router 5, I ping there. I can. I do imagine I need to set some form of DNS server. So IP DNS server. Servers equals 8888. All right, let's see. Can I ping Google? I can. Let's just do the same for R3 and R4 quickly. IP DNS set servers 8888. And last one, IP DNS set servers 8888. Before I leave, let's just check. All right. Let's try and run a firmware upgrade again. Go to Unimus. Do firmware upgrade. Let's run it. Config is pushing. But since we can actually break out to the internet now, I'm fairly confident it should work. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe something fails. You never know. Isn't networking exciting? Interaction error on PE2. Okay, they're still failing, which is interesting. I'm just going to go to the route reflector, which is router 5, and I'm just going to do system package. Let's do an update. Install. Or let's do check for updates first. Okay, it sees there's new version. If I do an install. Aha! Aha! we found an issue. Error, not enough disk space. 21 megabits is required, only 21.2 is free. I just want to log on to, let's just check file print. File export. Let me just quickly Winbox in here. But this is more or less a limitation with my CHR that I've got here. If I increased its disk size, it definitely wouldn't give an issue. I'm just wondering with my trial licenses and my Eve, like how it's determining the size. I'm just quickly going to do this. This might look weird for a little bit, but this is just so I can Winbox. Also, I need to turn on ROM on, but I'm not in the mood to now just. Although I could push ROM on to all of the routers. Yeah, let's do that. Man, I feel so silly when I do stuff like this. Sorry about that. Oh, and all my stuff like jumped around now. This sometimes get annoying, and this is, it happens from time to time on Eve. It's if I haven't like refreshed the lab or something. I don't know why it does that. Get onto Unimus. So instead of doing a mass firmware upgrade, let's just clone this one. Let's rename this to enable ROM on routers, and then we can do tool ROM on set enable. Is it enabled or enabled? We'll see. Save that. Run it now. I've got some connection errors. It's so weird that it's affecting only the provider routers. I'll just enable ROM on directly. Tool ROM on set enable, yes. Just copy that, throw it onto the other routers quickly. Alright, let's see if I can connect to ROM on. PE1. That's interesting everything. No, great, Nicholas. I'm glad it gave you some sort of an overview, and definitely lab it yourself, play around, have fun, and have a good evening, dude. Thanks for coming to the stream. I appreciate it. Here's the PE1. Now this doesn't make any sense. There's plenty of oh, 52. Okay. But what's using all of this? Can't be anything in there. Files. let's do a packages. I actually think I'll have to no, it's the issue is definitely the disk size right now, Thomas. Even from like for the ROM perhaps, but the issue to update the firmware is definitely the size. And I can see here that it shows that the router for P1 has already used like it doesn't have any free space left, because you should essentially have half of the disk space still available. So I think I either need to add like a drive on Eve for these routers, but I don't want to fiddle around with it too much. Because here we just see it hanging there, and if I actually try and force the command from the command line, if I do a system package update install, it's immediately going to tell me that there is no space. Well, not immediately. It was telling me that earlier. But all prerequisites are met except for the disk size now. I also don't know if it has anything to do with my, hang on. Why don't I have any breakout from this machine? P1. IP routes. Do I have a route out? I do. So that's get pushed to the ASPR1. That looks fine. IP firewall, NAT. The natural's there. Let me just see, can I get out from that range? So this is going to .5 address. So can I ping? 10.051 ping 8888 source 10.051. From P1 I can't. It routes to the ASPR, which is fine. I shouldn't have to NAT anything out here. Hang on a sec. 10.5.1, 10.5.2. Okay, that's fine. Can actually get across ping 10.5, 10.051. Okay, I can't ping 10.051, so that's definitely an issue. Can I ping 10.03.1? Oh, okay. Yeah, I get exactly, I get what's up here. Even though this should be working over that interface. Let me just quickly recable in Eve, even though this shouldn't be the issue. So that was Ether 1 to Ether 2. But you never know. Okay, now I can ping 5.1, but that's some crazy latency. Alright. And now the router is like going into a pretty slow state. Now it dropped. Let me see, can I just reconnect on the Roman? Else, let's disconnect from Roman. 1, 2, 3, 4. Connect. Let's just see here. Alright, that looks normal. Alright, let's just try and do the upgrade now. Alright, but now it is actually updated. I've got no clue why that happened. Let's check the router 4 quickly. Although I need to just connect on Roman for that as well. Connect to Roman on 233. There we go. I should see PE2 connect. I just want to see, do I have breakout here? No, I also don't have breakout here. Ping 10.061. This is really strange because I know that it was working before. I mean, I was even pinging Google to test the DNS. Let's check. Can I ping? I can ping that now. That is so iffy. I think something's getting crossed in Eve with this. Because I feel like this router is going to drop again. Just like router or PE1 just did. And then everything's going to be normal. Because that latency isn't normal. That's a fact. We just reconnect manually somehow. There we go, it disconnected. There's P2, let's connect. And now it's normal. Alright, let's quickly check our packages, system package. But this is also on the latest version now. So I'm pretty sure that the software upgrade did take effect from Unimus. I'm just not sure why it's like how we got these errors. I know for a fact I saw the error for the disk space. Oh, but this was the command we ran for Roman. Let's go to the firmware upgrade one. Interaction error. It'd be nice if it showed me what that interaction error was. In theory it does, but right now I'm not seeing anything. Let me just, oh, sorry about that. Go to router 5. Because there was the error when I tried to do the install. Let's try and do it again. I wonder, can I ping 10.0.1.2? Yeah, something's gone awry in Eve. I might just have to restart Eve Cause well, not cause, it's just I just want to change my adapter settings quickly. Change adapter options, because this machine has been on for quite a while. Because I'm pretty sure if I just do this and I do this, it's going to connect now. I don't know why I'm pinging .3, because that I won't be able to ping. I can ping .2. Oh, but there was unreachable. Now I can ping it. Let's just try and do the update. Alright, now I get the error. System reboot. Yes. That is pretty nice. I mean, so far I am liking Unimus. This this guy from MikroTik looks pretty jacked. He goes to the gym for sure. All right, let's see. Admin blank. Can I do an install? No, I can't install. Man, but I don't blame MikroTik or anything for this. This seems more like a me using the trial licenses and me having some hiccups on Eve tonight. I'm actually just having hiccups as well, since, like I said, I am a bit under the weather. And with that being said, I do think with this thing finishing its download, I am actually going to end off the stream and spend the rest of the evening. Well, there's nothing to spend. I'm probably just going to head off to bed. But this was a good like overview. And I mean, I've shown you guys like throughout the video how quick it is to just, oh, there's how long my PC's been on now. How quick it is to like just add devices to Unimus, roll out batch configs, like batches of config, not a batch config, but like a bunch of configuration that you can add. And there's ways to ease it. And just like any network automation tool, like starting off is a little bit slow, but the moment you've got all of the config in place and you can play around with how you want to do things, it's so quick to just change like what settings you want to update. And then Unimus can just push that config out onto the network. So I do dig it. I do think this is a nice tool. It's a pity that it's only 5 routers we can use it on, unless you pay for additional licensing. But that's up to you if you want to add more routers. But I think it's pretty nice if you have like 1,000 routers that you can just get backups for or do firmware upgrades on. So I think that takes a lot of the groundwork, the stuff that's not fun to do, and automates it, which is very nice. Anyways, I'm ending off the video. Thank you all for watching. Apologies that I didn't stream last week. Again, I was considering not streaming tonight, but I figured I'm not that sick, so I might as well stream. So thanks for dropping by. Sorry for the coarse voice. Or the rugged voice, but at least we got to lab some new stuff, especially with the network automation bit. So thanks again for watching, and catch you guys in the next stream. And I will more than likely create a video just dedicated to Unimus, just to show you how to set it up and import things step by step. Even though you could have followed along in the stream, it will then be a lot more condensed, like maybe like a 10-minute thing, 15-minute thing, and just here's how it works, here's how you do it. Thank you. Anyways, bye bye. Have a good evening and see you guys later.